what's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode. I'm covering Monday Night Raw as things was on all cylinders, as everything you initially got. Monday Night Raw truly delivered when it came to tonight under the Triple H banner, as we had such a great showcase when it came in everything that actually happened, as well as the ending, which we got some juicy things that had initially happened at the end that transpired when it came to the main event. And we really got things that initially hit a core when it came to the internet wrestling community, as we know they had so much to say when it came to the conclusion of everything that happened with Liv Morgan, as well as Dominik Mysterio involvement, and so much more to happen, as we got more news as well when it comes to the man Becky Lynch with her contract status, and so many different things that initially happened when it came to tonight on Monday Night Raw. Then we ended up having the lineup, which we had Braun Strowman taking on Judgment Day member JD McDonough. We had the steel cage match for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Liv Morgan, the champion, taking on Becky Lynch. We had the Imperium the Ring General making his appearance after winning the King of the Ring, as well as we had the El Champion, Damian Priest, was in the house, and it was a decent show, which you could have got everything that initially happened, as well as we had so many involvement players, including Damian Priest, making some orders and really pushing the push for everything, as well as Drew McIntyre being the next challenger in the line for Clash of the Castle, as they're looking to go to battle, and we know we're going to get our money's worth when it came to everything under the sun. But Monday Night Raw started off with Judgment Day coming out with the World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest, Finn Balor, JD McDonough. They all make their way to the ring. Priest pretty much started off with his promo, says Gunther is the king of the ring, but he has the crown to prove it. And then Priest says that Gunther proved nothing because he didn't beat Randy Orton clean. And if he wants to take credit for something, he should take credit for costing Randy Orton a shot at the undisputed WWE Championship. Then Priest then says he cashed in his briefcase like many before him, and then asks Gunther if he knows how business around WWE works, and offers to teach him about it. Gunther then says he is focused on facts, which Gunther came out, and of course, they initially got into a back and forth about talking, and then talking about the King of the Ring. And Gunther then says he would challenge Priest at SummerSlam, and should he be the title holder, he'll be waiting for someone to teach him something about the ring. Gunther then proceeded and says that Priest can either give him a speech on business, now he is the King of the Ring, or after he becomes the World Heavyweight Champion. Priest then says that he respects Gunther's Intercontinental Champion reign, but questions what Gunther can teach that he doesn't already know. Then, of course, things initially broke down when Drew McIntyre's music's hit. He makes his way down during the promo. McIntyre stares down Priest and Gunther. Then he grabs the microphone in response to the fans' chants for CM Punk. But he says the highlight of CM Punk has been on him. Drew McIntyre then introduced himself to Priest and Gunther as the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Champion and the new World Heavyweight Champion when it comes to Clash of the Castle. Gunther then exits the ring before Priest tells McIntyre he is not overlooking him. And then McIntyre says then he just wants Priest to be aware of what's going to happen at Clash of the Castle. And then he offers to help within the whole time of the mess going on with Judgment Day, and time again Ripley's absence, then offers to help Damian Priest. And then McIntyre then says there has been several talent from the United Kingdom who have never won the World Heavyweight Championship, and he was the first to do it. So, and McIntyre then says that Clash of Castle in his home country of Scotland, and he will give his geography lesson of the UK. McIntyre then says that the people of Scotland are the most fastest people of the world. Then he tells Priest that he is going into a war zone. Do I highly think so? I don't know. But we shall see how juicy that gets when it comes to Clash of the Castle. I know those two big men are going to put on a banger. You know you're going to get your money's worth when it comes to everything initially will happen. Then initially, Priest then asks McIntyre if his game plan is to really get under his skin, or being booed doesn't bother him. Priest then says he's made a living of proving people wrong, then asks McIntyre if his wife will be at Clash of the Castle. Then McIntyre then warns Priest about using his wife's name. Then Priest says that he could care less if she be there. Priest then says that he wanted to see if he can get under McIntyre's skin. He clearly did. Then Braun Strowman music hits. Then he makes his way down, and then the first match of the night is McIntyre leaves as well as Gunther as they get ready for McDonough to get in the ring with the big man Braun Strowman. This match started off red hot with so many different twists and turns. Braun Strowman pretty much took advantage of everything that happened, but you knew you just get your money's worth when it came to this match. This was a squash from start to finish, as Braun Strowman was able to pick up the victory as he went on a rampage and power slammed JD McDonough for the win. And the conclusion happened after the match when Carlito and Balor beat on Braun Strowman. But Strowman sends Carlito and Balor out the ring, and then McDonough grabs a chair and he hits Braun Strowman from behind with it. But Strowman then stands on his feet and turns around, but McDonough slides out the ring and retreats to the back as Balor and Carlito follows not too far behind as Braun Strowman was looking pissed off. You don't want to piss off that big man because that big man knows how to go, and he continues to truly deliver his dominance each and every single week. And I look forward to seeing where Braun Strowman continue to be put on the showcase when it comes to the WWE. Then they head to the back for a segment with Liv Morgan, who was interviewed by Kathy Kelly. Kathy asks Morgan if she has any remorse over the way she beat Becky Lynch to win the title. Morgan says no, and she didn't know Dominik Mysterio was going to come out. Morgan then says there will be nowhere to run or hide in the cage match, and she will finally beat Becky Lynch one-on-one. Then, of course, we go to a backstage segment as we see Priest then approaches Balor and Carlito. Priest tells Balor that Strowman should have been handled tonight. Priest then tells him to go find McDonough so they can regroup, and Carlito and Balor didn't hesitate to leave because they figured Strowman was chasing them down. And then, of course, things just broke down from there. Then we get a video recap package of Breaker really attacking Kaylee and Dixon and Ricochet last week. But then we head to the medical office and see Ricochet being cleared for his in-ring competition earlier in the day by Adam Pearce as he stands by with the doctors. And then Ricochet then demands a match against Braun Breaker. But Pearce says Breaker is at home and currently on suspension. Then the other enters into a heated verbal confrontation ensues between him and Ricochet. It appears then as a match between Ricochet and Dragunov. This match then actually takes place after the match. They both make the entrance, and this was a lot of back and forth. Ricochet was the highlight reel of the night, but Dragunov really continued to hold his own and really was putting on everything that she could initially happen. But of course, we ended up having Braun Breaker coming out and pretty much spearing Ricochet out of nowhere, causing a disqualification, as well as putting the beat down on Ilya as well. After match, Dragunov tries to go after Breaker, but he hits him with a few chops, but then Breaker nails him with a spear. And then afterwards, Raw General Manager Adam Pearce and the other officials run down, and then Pearce escorts Breaker to the back as he's berating him, chewing at him, and Braun Breaker stares him down, and then it smiles, and then heads to the back, which was kind of nice to take of Braun Breaker pretty much being a dominant force on the Monday Night Red brand. Then Pearce continues to argue backstage, and Kelly tries to provide us with the update, and Breaker leaves, and then Kelly interview Pearce. He was approached by Kiana James. Pearson tells James that they can speak in his office because he needs a drink. Then we head to a highlight package of the video of the WWE World Tag Team Champions, The Miz and R-Truth, getting ice cream from the ice cream truck. The New Day then approaches them and asks them if they are still doing a Memorial Day raffle, while Truth and Miz have conflicting answers. Karrion Kross approaches Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston in a heated verbal confrontation, then assures leading to Woods to ensure a challenge for the tag team match against the AOP next week, which we know that's going to put on a banger. Then we have a tag team action as the Final Testament, AOP, Akam, and Razor take on the Creed brothers, Julius and Brutus Creed. This match was a lot of back and forth. The Creed brothers show off their athleticism, but it was not enough when it came down taking on AOP. AOP was pretty much the big boys on the block, and they pretty much did everything. They basically did. They hit a water rush for the win, and then pretty much sealed the deal when it came to this initial match with the final testament afterwards. Then they head to a segment in the back when they show Hall of Famer Mysterio says Carlito was welcomed into the LW with open arms. Raiden says Carlito will still be a brother that he had not taken into his current path. Raiden says Carlito's jealousy over Dragon Lee made him bitter. Raiden says Carlito can run to the Judgment Day. Maybe they will welcome him with open arms like he did. Raiden says that those days are over. Raiden says Carlito will now find an old friend in the ring, and he will find out what happens when you cross the LWO. Then we get ready for Sheamus, who make his entrance to address the WWE Universe. He comes out, of course, and Sheamus starts by asking Savannah if he enjoyed the King and the Queen of the Ring. Then he says that all the matches were banger after banger after banger. Then Sheamus says that he was not on the card because Louis Kaiser sidelined him. And Sheamus says then he will send a message to Kaiser and calls Kaiser out to the King. We'll basically call him the King Jester. Then Sheamus and Kaiser basically that he's in the back. And then Kaiser then appears on the big screen and says Sheamus shouldn't be blaming him for the first round loss to Gunther in the King of the Ring tournament. Kaiser then tells Sheamus to blame Gunther after weeks of hiding at home, being a keyboard warrior. He is telling him what to do, and Sheamus then storms to the back to find him. Kaiser blindsides him and sends him crashing into the barricade, and both men then brawl and then ended up back in the ramp where officials Adam Pearce runs down to separate them as Adam Pearce is working overtime once again, trying to figure out the situation of initially everything initially transpired. Then we had Lyra Valkyria showing her in the back in the dressing room favoring her ribs. Becky Lynch approaches her and joins her and says it's not about winning all the time, it's about getting better all the time. Lynch then says you keep winning and learning until it's time to walk away. Lynch then tells Lyra she has this, and they fist pump, and then they ended that segment. Then we get ready for the match, Lyra versus Damage Control, Kairi Sane. This match was a lot of back and forth. This women really put on a showcase, but Lyra's ribs were really being exploited. Kairi took advantage of this match throughout majority of the match, controlling it, but it was a lot of transitional back and forth. I enjoyed everything that initially happened in this match. Lyra was able to pick up the victory by hitting the running boot up and then basically pitting the pin to Kairi Sane for the 1-2-3. After the match, Dakota Kai looks to attack Lyra, but Lyra slides out the ring before she can. And pretty much we know we're setting up for the feud as we end up Dakota Kai versus Lyra, which I think that's going to be a banger too with those two ladies. Then we head back to another backstage segment when we show Finn Balor and Carlito arriving at Judgment Day's clubhouse as Damian Priest is already waiting. And Priest kicks out Carlito before McDonough shows up. Priest then asks where's Dominik Mysterio, then asks McDonough if he needs to deal with Braun Strowman and questions why McDonough was talking to Liv Morgan. McDonough then explains he was warning her that she won't be World Heavyweight Champion for much longer, and Dominik shows up. Priest then asks for a moment alone with Dominik and tells him he messed up big time. Priest then asks Dominik if he's talked to Rhea Ripley, and he says he knows he was trying to help. And Priest then tells Dominik to fix things, and Dominik promises to. Then we show a backstage segment with Io Sky in the women's locker room, and she's upset. She ended up breaking a couple of lamps and table, and she showed her frustration as Damage Control entered the ring, and Io Sky threw a tantrum and initially left. Then we got ready for LWO action as Rey Mysterio took on Carlito in a singles action. This was a lot of back and forth, a lot of twists and turns. Rey was on his shoulders and then he escaped it. And then initially everything broke down from there. Then Finn Balor came out, and then of course try to get involved. Ray, Dragon Lee took advantage of things with a helping assisting Rey Mysterio, but Carlito was able to go for the backstabber, but he avoided. But then Ray hit the 619 follow up with the frog splash for the top rope and countered it, and he was able to hit the pinfall for the 1, 2, 3. After the match, Ray places Balor on top of the announce desk, and Dragon Lee then climbs on top of it, but Priest hits Ray from behind, and then Carlito then prevents Lee from flying, and then Priest hits him with the Razor's Edge. Then Ray then hits Priest with a dropkick, then knocks Balor off the apron. Ray then dials him for the 69, where Priest escapes and hits him with the Salvin for Heaven, and Priest then stares down Balor and Carlito down on the outside. As Damian Priest had to take things into his own initial hands, as he was not satisfied with the way how they were handling things, and he wanted them to take care of it, and he had to do it himself. Then we head to the back for Chad Gable, who was annoyed with Akira Tozawa because he didn't make the trip to Saturday's show. Gable says he could have used Tozawa's help. He must have a really good reason for not being there. Tozawa then apologizes, but Gable then says he wasn't mad, just disappointed. Showman then shows up looking for McDonough. Otis and Maxine then shows up, and Gable refers to Dupree as Goldilocks and 3 brain cells. And then Gable then says he doesn't want her at ringside tonight because it's not a fast show. Gable says he will be the Intercontinental champion if not for Otis, and Gable then says he's going to give Otis a second chance out of kindness of his heart to redeem himself against Bronson Reed. Gable then says he wants to hear Otis say the words no matter what. Then we got the big meat on meat action, Big Bronson Reed taking on Alpha's Otis. This is a lot of back and forth for a lot of things under the sun. The initial winner of the match was Big Bronson Reed. After a tsunami off the top ropes, Otis fell short, taking on the L. After the match, Otis was looking to leave, but Gable caught him off in the ring. Then he berated him. Maxine came out along with Akira Tozawa, and then pretty much Gable was about to whip Otis, but then Maxine Dupree broke it up, and then Chad Gable basically told them to leave. Before he was initially about to put the beat down, Sami Zayn came out to initially break up everything and initially broke onto a brawl afterwards. But of course, Chad Gable took advantage of that, put the beat down, put the brawling down on him. Gable hit Sami Zayn with a suplex, then delivers some right hands, and then Gable then grabs the Intercontinental Championship, leaves in the ring as the fans chanted for Otis, and then Tozawa and Gable, as they always do, both men walk up the ramp, ashamed of Gable following behind as he look at Sami Zayn from there. Then we go to a video package of airing of Liv Morgan Revenge Tour that ended with the footage of Morgan winning the WWE Women's Worldwide Championship over Becky Lynch, thanks to Dominik Mysterio. And then Morgan was then shown warming up backstage in a shot of Becky Lynch doing the same thing as is shown as well. Then the steel cage lowers as we get ready for women's action. As then this match was a lot of back and forth, a lot of prop spots, a lot of suplexes, a lot of German suplexes. Becky Lynch controlled majority of this match as she looked like she was about to pick up the victory. But initially things broke down as Dominik Mysterio came down to the ring and was trying to do some damage control. But then of course things broke out as the rest of Judgment Day came out as well. And then Braun Strowman came out, basically doing his own stitch, basically doing the steamroll. And Dominik Mysterio was by the cage as Becky Lynch was about to exit and push Dominik Mysterio into the cage that hit Becky Lynch to knock Becky out, as Liv Morgan took advantage of that, rolled out the ring through the cage, and she secured the victory to continue to be the victor, and continue to retain her championship. But the conclusion was the post-match afterwards, as Dominik looked disappointed again as things happened, as he saw Liv Morgan crossing ties with her, as Braun Strowman was chasing the rest of the members of the Judgment Day to the back. Then they have a stare down, and then she proceeded to kiss him as the show concluded, and that pretty much sent the internet into a frenzy as they were saying Dominik was lucky, or whatever the case may be, or how will his wife feel about it. But it's storyline when it comes to initially everything. I know his wife's probably like, hey, as long as I get paid more, whatever, I can't complain when it comes to everything that she happened. But overall, this was a mid show for what I take, but it was overall okay. The main event was a great conclusion of the storyline. Continue to be pushed, as now we're going to see the direction where Dominik and Liv go from here. But of course, Dominik was resisting when it came to the kiss, but Liv continued to plant the seeds as she initially is taking everything away from Rhea Ripley. And I wonder what Rhea feels. Like she eventually will probably is going to chew at Dominik, but we have to tune in next Monday to see how things initially will transpire from there. But I appreciate you guys coming through to show your love and support. Post your comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.